Hi everyone, it's Rain here from Rain's Kitchen and Garden. I'm out in my garden today and I'm going to be planting my second batch of potatoes as well as raspberry plants. Jack is hanging out with me today in the sunshine. It's a beautiful day in May. It's a little chilly, so I can get away with wearing a felt hat. Today's hat is an Encore Raspberries. It's an Australian outback hat and it's got a nice wide brim, so it keeps me covered from the sun. It's a little chilly, so I can wear a felt hat today, but the black flies are very attracted to it, so I might have to put the head net on. I'm really looking forward to getting my raspberry plants planted and also the rest of the potatoes, so let's go. These are my 3 raspberry plants. These are Encore Raspberries. They're supposed to be fall-bearing raspberries, so the plants should produce lots and lots of fruits by the end of the summer and early fall. They will not produce any fruit the first year, but I'm planting them anyway because next year I would love to have lots and lots of raspberries. I only bought 3 plants here, so that's really nice. This is how they come to you in the mail. They're all dry, they're in plastic bags, and they're dormant. So the instructions are, if you can't plant them right away, you're supposed to open up the bag and leave them in a cool area, a dry area like a basement that's not too damp, until you're ready to plant them. And when you are ready to plant them, you're supposed to soak the roots in water so that they're ready to go into the ground. So I'm going to soak these while I'm planting my potatoes. Ooh, Jack, you want to smell those? These are raspberry plants. You're going to love those. Jack loves the blueberries. I'm sure he's going to love the raspberries too. Hey, Jack. Good boy. I just wanted to show you my asparagus. Look at how tall that one is. I planted these asparagus 2 summers ago, and I let them go the first summer. Look at how tall that one is. The second summer I didn't touch them either, and this is the 3rd summer, so I'm able to harvest about 1/3 of them. I've already picked 2, and I'm going to have to pick a whole bunch more because I don't want them to go to seed. When you pick them, you encourage new growth. So I'm going to have to make a lot of asparagus dishes in the next few days. Isn't that amazing? It's always worth the wait. Look at that one. Now it's time to plant my Norland potatoes. This is the second variety of potatoes that I purchased. This is a red potato with a white flesh. I really love red potatoes. So 3 days ago, I planted all of my fingerling potatoes in tires. I only have 5 tires left, and to be honest with you, I just could not find the time to go out and look for more tires. So I decided I'm going to dedicate one of my larger raised beds to the potatoes. I cut them up 3 days ago in 4 or 6 pieces, depending on how large the potato was, making sure to keep eyes on each piece. And then I put them in a paper bag in a box on top of my fridge, and every day I shook them up to make sure they didn't stick together. And sure enough, 3 days later, they've developed a beautifully leathery skin. Basically, you want to do that because it's supposed to help prevent rot and it's supposed to help prevent disease. Some people plant them directly after they cut them. This is just what I do. So in this raised bed, I think I can fit all of my potatoes. I have, I think, 38 pieces. I can fit 4 across. So I'm basically just putting them, whoops, slippery, putting them eyes up into the ground. And I'm not putting them into the ground and burying them yet because I want to see what I'm doing for measuring purposes. About 1 foot apart. Well, I managed to get all 38 pieces into this raised bed. Some of them are a little close, but I just don't have any more room, so I'm taking a chance. So now what I'm going to do is just cover them up with about 3 inches of dirt, and I'm going to give them a good water because it's a really hot day today and my soil isn't as wet as it was when I planted my other potatoes on Monday. So I'm going to give them a good watering, and then as soon as the plants start growing above the soil, I'm putting more soil on top, another 3 inches, and they keep growing, and you keep soiling and you keep growing, and that way you get lots and lots of potatoes. Here I'm kind of limited. I can't put soil higher than the side of my raised bed, but I can hill them. So I'm going to try my best to put as much soil as I can over the summer so that I get a huge potato crop. I just wanted to show you something. I've had rain for the past 4 days, and before I brought my seedlings in and my little plants in, I watered them, and then I put them in my window, and they didn't really have a chance to dry out. So as you can see here, there's some white mold that's growing on the top, and white mold could be caused by several things: overwatering, lack of airflow. The soil could be infected with something, but basically I think that this was due to the fact that they never really had a chance to dry up in the sun, and there was a lack of airflow. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just scraping the white mold off, and gone. Now I've got a whole week of sunshine ahead of me, so these should dry out nicely, and hopefully the mold will not come back, and that way I'll know that it was just lack of airflow. I have to be very careful in my lettuce here because I don't want to break my lettuce apart. This is butter crunch lettuce. It's my favorite lettuce. I love this stuff. So you know, that's all you have to do really, is just scrape it off, and it shouldn't come back if it has enough airflow, if you don't overwater it, if it can sit in the sun for a while. I think my plants just got a little too wet. Or not got a little too wet, they stayed a little too wet. So that's all you have to do. Well, as you can see, I got down to the clay. So I think I've dug a deep enough hole. You need to dig a hole deep enough for your raspberry canes to stand straight. You don't want to bend the roots up. So this plant is the one, or this cane is the one that's the longest for me. And you want the soil to hit just the top, just above the root. So I think I've got it here. I'm just going to put that soil back in just to see. And in this raised bed, I used to have, what did I have in here? I had my pumpkin patch in here one year. So it's got a lot of good compost in it. So I think that's about right. I'm just patting it down. And I'm going to make another hole 3 feet away. Each raspberry plant needs to be 3 feet away from each other because they really start to grow lots of shoots. And as the plant and the root starts to grow and you get more raspberry plants, you don't want them to be crowded or else they won't get enough airflow to make nice fruits. 1, 2, 3. Here. 1, 2, 3. Here. These roots are shorter, so my holes aren't as deep. I hit rock. After you plant them, you want to water them because that'll show you if you have enough soil. After I watered mine, the soil actually condensed a little bit, so I'm going to add a little more soil. Watering them also helps you to see if your soil is draining well enough. And mine is draining perfectly because raspberries like a drainy soil, if that's a word. Soil that drains well. So I have to add a little bit more soil, and I'm going to water. And that's draining quite quickly, which I like. And I think we have enough soil there. So I'm going to do that for the other 2 raspberry plants and I'm done. I can't wait to start getting fruit in 2 years. Well, I am so happy to be sitting in my screen house right now. We splurged this year and we bought this screen house and we put it up just about 3 or 4 days ago, but we put it up on a day where there were a lot of black flies out. So of course there are some still in here and eventually they'll all get swatted. But it's so nice not to have to wear that head net. It just suffocates me when it's hot. And the black flies are relentless. I can't stand them. Anyway, I've got all of my potatoes planted. I've got my raspberry canes planted. What's next? I have all of my seedlings to transplant. And I actually ran out of soil. Otherwise, I would have done all of that today too. I had 50 bags of 25 liters of soil, just topsoil mixed with a bit of compost, I think, and I completely ran out. So I have to go back to the nursery tomorrow and get more soil and probably more containers too, because I really went whole hog this year. I planted everything I had with the knowledge that some of them may not work here. This is a test year for me because I'm in a new climate. I used to live in a very humid mountain valley before in the province of Quebec. Now I live in rural New Brunswick and the climate is different. The summers are longer, the growing season is a little longer, it's less humid, it's more dry. So I have to test. I don't know what I can really grow here successfully. I know I can grow garlic successfully. I know that I can grow asparagus successfully, but I don't know about all the other crops. So it's going to be a test here. Like I said, wait and see. So that's all for Rain's Kitchen and Garden for today. I'm exhausted. I am so exhausted. I just want to put my feet up and do nothing for the rest of the day. I hope you're having a wonderful day and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.